Oh, boy.
Spectacularness.
So, moving from some spectacularness onto other spectacularness, my watch, play, read comes in the form of 3 items, largely. I was going to talk... I've been playing... I'll just hit on this really quick. I've been playing a lot of Magic the Gathering, which has been fun.
Nice.
So anybody out there who knows it, shout out. I'm enjoying getting into Magic the Gathering after years and years and years. I've had to be taught 5 or 6 times, and even now, when I play... Steve, who lives with us, he likes to go down to Millennium to play. And he's like, oh, you should come with. And I'm like, well, so here's the thing. I still don't know all the rules. Yeah. And I don't want to have someone sitting there coaching me through playing this game.
I'll be honest. I've wanted to do this just because I love Millennium games. And just to go in there and sit and watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
You would probably learn so much just by watching guys play.
But I just want to bring this up because it's one of the funniest things that I've encountered recently. It is a full reversal. I am the filthy casual. And I come in because Magic the Gathering has recently introduced, in the last 2 or 3 years, Lord of the Rings, Final Fantasy, Spider-Man, Ninja Turtles, Avatar: The Last Airbender, among other sets. Doctor Who. And that was what got me into the game. Was being like, okay, so there's all these Spider-Man cards. I feel an almost obligation to get Spider-Man cards. I'm being given a bunch of Spider-Man cards. Let's do this. And I built a Spider-Man deck. I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. It won for the first time ever yesterday, which was great.
Oh, nice.
I have a deck that I call Rooftop Warriors, and it's Spider-Man and Ninja Turtles. And the commander of it is Aragorn the Uniter. Because in Lord of the Rings, I figure the closest thing to a superhero is Aragorn, who has this weird parentage, has superpowers, is this leader that's voted among everybody to lead everyone. He's almost a Superman type in a lot of ways. So it's like, okay, that kind of fits the flavor and all these other things. And I'm just sitting here having a great time trying to figure out how much money I want to spend on stupid things that just fit the flavor of the deck as opposed to just being functionally a part of the deck. I was talking to a buddy of mine, and she was like, what you need to understand is that Magic the Gathering has meant something to a great deal of people for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And having these new sets with their, in her words, terrible art, which I disagree with, but I understand where she's coming from, bastardizing this game is very troubling and upsetting to them. And it's just very funny that in this roundabout way, through Marvel, I have found myself on the other end of the sword from where I am with Marvel.
Yeah.
Of just being like, you don't understand the thing I love, and you don't love it the way you should, and it's not as good as it should be, and you should be having even more fun with it than you are, and it's only because it's so bad that you're enjoying it this way. And I'm just like on the other end being like, I like turtles. And it's like...
See, I can see that, though, because Magic was its own thing for so long, and then all of a sudden, like I just noticed coming soon, there's going to be a Star Trek set coming.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like, I can understand people who are passionate about Magic being mad about these theme sets.
Oh, yeah.
I can absolutely understand.
I 100% get it. It's just so funny to be on the other end of it. Yeah. For the first time ever in my life, I'm usually the one on the other end being like, you're ruining the thing I love. I'm not going to shut up just because you are made uncomfortable by the fact that I hate that you are doing this. The good thing about
being you, though, is you can appreciate them.
Yes.
Where other people can't.
No. So I have the capacity to be like, yes, I understand that I like this. And I also understand that other people don't like this. And I also understand that my liking this when other people don't like this means that I get cheaper cards. Because the cards that I want, no one else wants.
And fucking, when I found out how expensive Magic cards were.
Yeah.
So the older ones, holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Pokemon. Fucking Magic eats your lunch when it comes to cards.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it does. You'll just be sitting there and you're like, man, I just spent $30. I don't even know how I spent $30. Yeah. So anyway, Magic the Gathering, really fun. Hopefully one day I'll get better enough that I can play other people in it. Okay. The NFL draft was this week.
Yes.
So there's 2 stories on this. One we covered a little bit last week. The other we couldn't because it hadn't happened yet. But anybody who's been paying attention could have definitely known that this was going to happen. So we'll start with the thing we talked about last week: the ongoing struggle of the New England Patriots and Mike Vrabel, and by extension Diana Rossini, who I still want to leave out of this because her part of the story is over. Yes. Right? She had to go through the worst part of it. She had her honor impugned upon and all these other things, and had to resign, and had to do with the spectacle of The Athletic coming out in favor of her, and then the New York Times being like, no, we do not deal with this kind of shit. Okay, and we have it in the contracts that we don't deal with this shit, so even if you are friends with her, we're not just going to let this slide. And then it blew up into this whole thing, and now she doesn't have a job. I'm still convinced she's going to go work for Fox or ESPN
absolutely.
At some point. Somebody who doesn't care about journalistic integrity. So her story is over. Mike Vrabel continues to ruin her life in a lot of really interesting ways. Again, if you don't know what we're talking about, in the end of March, they were caught. The owners' meetings were in, I want to say, Phoenix or Tempe, and they were caught 2 hours away a few days before the owners' meetings.
At like a couples retreat.
At a couples retreat. They say that there were a bunch of other people there. They cannot substantiate or bring forward any of these people. There is no one that will come forward and say that they were there. There is no one with photo evidence. There's no text message change talking about where we're going to meet or what we're going to do today. There's literally no evidence. But Vrabel and these people keep on insisting, no smoke, no fire. And they insist upon this for 3 weeks. And it gets really bad. And all that stuff happens to Diana Rossini. And by this time, she's left. Okay. Vrabel, last week, finally talks about what's going on. And he says, I've had a lot of really difficult conversations with people in my life. And you're just left being like, about what, Mike? Yeah. About what, Mike?
Because hasn't this... Didn't the revelation come out that this has been going on for like 6 years?
So that's the other thing that happened. So Vrabel comes out on Wednesday last week and says, I've had a lot of difficult conversations with people in my personal life, but he doesn't say about what.
Yeah.
And so if you didn't know what he was talking about, you wouldn't know. But we all know, but there's also this journalistic thing of like, but you got to talk about what you're actually meaning. You can't just talk in scare quotes and word salad. That night, ESPN at 12:30 in the evening, midnight, 12:30 midnight, releases an article that goes over a bunch of new details, including that the Patriots tried to squish the story before it came out, and that the New York Post approached everybody involved and asked for any kind of evidence that says that what happened didn't happen, and, hey, we're wrong, we won't post the story if you give us anything. They were unable to give them anything, and then the Patriots tried to buy the story, and that didn't work, and so now we're here. Okay. Thursday, Mike Vrabel decides to announce that he will not be participating in the third day of the draft. He is instead going to go to counseling with his family. There are two questions around this. One, what kind of counseling group only does sessions on Saturday?
Yeah.
And two, you don't think you can wait until Monday to do this? This has to happen this weekend because 8 of the Patriots' 11 picks are on day 3.
And I highly doubt his wife wants to go to counseling. It's probably more of a mediation on how much shit you're going to lose in a divorce.
I think the divorce is coming. I think that's where this really
when
is
you
coming.
are having an affair over 6 years and your wife's going to be like, I'll take you back.
Yeah.
I fucking doubt that shit.
Over 6 years while you have 2 kids with your wife.
Yeah.
Not great.
No.
Not great, Mike.
Yeah.
Not great. But to make it even worse, one of the reasons people speculate that he did this was because even more photos came out, including photos from literally the day before the world ended, March 11th, 2020, involving them making out in a New York nightclub, seemingly.
Yes.
Again, we don't see lip-on-lip action, but it's if you're that close to another person's face, there's only one reason you're that close to another person's face.
They're not telling secrets.
No. I don't care how loud it was in that room. You don't get right up to someone's nose to tell them a secret if it's loud out. And more photos come out of them at a casino right after he gets fired from the Titans.
Yep.
Very interesting, very timely. And all these reports come out all these reports came out from Diana Rossini about all these things that were happening in the Titans organization per sources. Yeah. And now people are like, so all those per sources were Mike Vrabel.
What's that saying? It's pillow talk, baby.
Yeah.
It's pillow talk.
Yeah. So this all rolls into a high holy hell of a mess. And the only reason I'm bringing it up is because even after all of this, there are still reports coming out that the NFL themselves seem to be attached to trying to get squashed, which is that other NFL insiders, are now reporting that Mike Vrabel was on the phone on Saturday with the Patriots during the draft when he was supposed to be stepped away from the team.
Of course he was.
And then that same reporter came out 2 hours later and was like, never mind. In a very like someone came to him and said, hey, pull that report. Pull it right now. Otherwise, you're never going to talk to another New England Patriot ever again on the record about anything. And so it's just like, it's just such a high holy hell of a mess. I really appreciate all the people being like, you got to fire Mike Vrabel. They're never going to do it.
No.
Because they have no ability to do it.
No matter what's going on in society and what's going on with the world nowadays, it's still a boys' club in the NFL. They're not going to fucking do that.
Not only that, as much as I love the argument, because again, I love all these arguments. I love the argument that you have to fire Mike Vrabel because he's a distraction and you just release Steph Diggs for being a distraction. Yep. You have to fire Mike Vrabel because he doesn't have any ability to inspire the men anymore because he himself is so low and his own feelings about stuff that he can't inspire anybody. You have to fire Mike Vrabel because he is a bad influence on the team and a bad face to put out front. And I'm just sitting here like, hand job Bob, folks.
Yeah.
Hand job Bob owns the team. I don't think the guy who got caught and arrested and charged with soliciting sex in Florida at a parlor, at a massage parlor called Orchids of Asia, I don't think that guy is in any kind of moral position to fire anybody for conduct unbecoming of the team. I just don't.
When you said that, all I could think is, I love Madame Kamei.
Right? Like it's so absurd. The only good thing that has come out of all of this is people actually having the frank conversation of like, man, the Patriots are a fucked up organization when you look at them. When you look at all of the controversies over the last 20 years, the Patriots are a fucked up organization. I'm like, fucking seriously, I've been saying this for 25 years and no one has listened the entire time. They've been so fucked.
See, they know, though, that with the way our society works, come kickoff, no one is going to remember this shit.
No one will care.
They're not going to know. They're not going to remember. No one's going to talk about it. It's going to be gone.
The thing that I think is going to happen, and it's what a lot of Boston sports people are saying should happen because they don't want to fire their coach, is anybody who from Boston who says they want to fire Mike Vrabel is lying.
Oh, there's no fucking way.
They are lying to you.
He took their team to the Super Bowl in his first year. They're not.
I want to also note, for the record, went to the Super Bowl because they had the easiest schedule in the NFL last year.
Yes.
Compared to the other teams that had any chance of making it to the playoffs. And had the least amount of injuries because of their easy schedule last year. And looked out insanely in the playoffs in terms of who they played. So I don't want to hear shit about them making it back to the Super Bowl or Drake May being an MVP. Because as far as I'm concerned, we have to see what happens this year.
No, but irregardless of all of that, it's the amount of money they made by getting to the Super Bowl. So that's all that they care about.
Yeah, that's all they care about. So that's the Patriot side of things. They're a high holy hell of a mess. And I'm just sitting here like, oh, it's so nice not being in a dirty franchise full of dirty people.
And then you think about your GM.
I just have to deal with dumb fucking idiots who don't know.
Dude, your GM is a fucking moron.
I'm so done. Steve, I'm so done. I'm so mad, and I'm so done.
I don't know who's worse, him or the Rams GM.
I like that. That is hilarious to me. But it's a one-off, and that's what makes it funny.
Yeah.
Right? So the Rams have this thing of fuck them picks. And they are, and have been for years now, under the auspice of, we don't need to draft anybody in the first round. We need to take that capital and put it towards a player that we know is good instead of taking a lottery card on a player who should be good. And we'll just take this high-value lottery card and trade it to somebody so we get somebody who is good.
Did you see McVay's reaction to it?
Yeah. So the Rams did this last year in a kind of weird reversal where they traded their pick to Atlanta and got a second pick this year. And they took that pick that was just like a bonus pick and they used it on... One of the interesting things about the Diana Rossini story is this idea of insiders spreading information for the self-preservation and good of a specific individual, not necessarily because it's true, effective, or important.
That's correct.
It's got to be the same thing here because Dan Orlovsky came out on ESPN, and even though he doesn't know where the back of the end zone is, he has been talking at length about how great Ty Simpson is, despite there being no evidence for that. And wouldn't you know it, Ty Simpson has the same agency representing him as Dan Orlovsky. I can't imagine how that would help either of them in any capacity if he got drafted higher in a better place. Oh, I think it's the exact same thing here because Ty Simpson, who was picked by the Rams at number 13, which is crazy, has played all of one season of college football at Alabama. Fine, okay. But one season of college football, and now is joining up after Matthew Stafford, who at this point has no plans to retire and just won the MVP. So unless he wins a Super Bowl, I don't think he's going to retire this year.
Yeah.
And they clearly didn't talk about it with McVay.
Yeah.
Who was not in on this kid to begin with, as you can see by the look on his face after the draft. He was so pissed. So I'm just like, well, at least I don't have to deal with that problem, right? That's a huge thing. But instead, I have a way worse problem, which is that my general manager has no fucking idea what value is. He has no concept of what value is. You want to hear what we did, folks? Here's the fun thing that we got to do for the draft. Every other team comes into the draft. One of the things I heard this week about the New England story was that they had to quash it before the draft because the draft is always universally good news for every team.
No, it is not.
First off, I think that might be overblown.
That is a bullshit.
Shador Sanders last year.
Not only that, ask every Bears fan prior to the Caleb Williams draft.
Yeah.
Okay. Teams can fuck up the draft every year.
Ask Donovan McNabb how positive people are after the draft.
Exactly.
But on top of this being the time where everybody has a chance to win.
Dude.
Everybody else came in and made their picks, and they all had a plan, and they all made their picks. And we had a late stage one, but a 26. Not bad, right? Famous players who have been picked at 26 include a little guy named Justin Jefferson. You know, maybe you've heard of him. Maybe the best receiver in the league. Maybe you heard of him. A guy that could have been on our team if we had stuck and pick, but we traded our pick.
Yeah.
And we got Steph Diggs, which could have worked out, but for any number of reasons it didn't. But you know what? At this point in time, I think I would have rather just had Justin Jefferson. I think that would have solved all of our problems, and we probably have 2 Super Bowls by now, but fine, whatever. Who fucking cares?
Yeah.
So we have the 26th pick, no second-round pick because we traded for DJ Moore, which was an incredibly necessary trade that I am so mad that Brandon Beane waited so long to do.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know why he waited so long. Did you hear what he wanted to do? He wanted to trade for Jalen Waddle. What? That was why we didn't trade for a receiver last year during the trade deadline, was because the number 1 receiver he had his eye on was Jalen Waddle, who plays for the fucking Dolphins.
And he's the number 2 receiver on the Dolphins.
Yeah! And he became the number 1 receiver because Tyreek Hill got hurt.
And he wasn't anywhere near good because the only reason he was good is because people were double-teaming Tyreek Hill, and that left Waddle open to get a lot of passes.
And this was the guy that Brandon Beane said we have to have in division! Not even in conference, in division! Are you insane? What the fuck is wrong with you? Okay, so that's why we couldn't get a wide receiver that we needed, and that's why Brandon Cooks was catching passes at the end of the Denver game. Okay? Great! Awesome! Okay!
Oh my god, dude.
So, if only we had drafted recently a wide receiver and a cornerback in the first round that could help us, except, oh wait! We came up negative on both of those too! In the one case, OK Coleman wasn't even drafted in the first round, but we traded back. And we gave picks to the fucking Chiefs. And we said, take Xavier Worthy. And we gave picks to the Jaguars. And we said, take Brian Robinson. We don't want those guys. We want this guy who won't work for us, who doesn't like us, who doesn't want to be here. And we're going to keep him around like some kind of weird hostage situation. I don't get this plan, but sure, we're going to fix it now.
Mary was so focused on you as you were doing that.
So, this is a repeat offender issue then, because what happens in this draft? In this draft where we have so many needs, and we have a 1, and we have a late 3, right? So I get it, right? So the 1 is around pick 26, the late stage 3 is around pick 82. There would be nothing in between 26 and 82, and that's a lot of picks. I get it. You do not trade with the Texans, okay? Don't trade back with the Texans so that they can put more roster spots on their field.
The best defense in the league.
We need to beat them
Yes.
to get anywhere.
Yes.
So don't trade with them. And then you know who you definitely don't trade with? The fucking New England Patriots! You do not trade with the New England Patriots! I don't care if they're offering you anything! I don't care if it's fucking Rumpelstiltskin! I don't give 2 shits who has the bag! You do not trade with the Patriots for any reason! Because we have to play them twice a year, and now you're giving them value that they wouldn't normally have. And it's not Bill Belichick, who was a terrible drafter. It's a whole different team of people.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you? And then as a coup de grace, they say, you know what? We don't even want us pick in the first round. Who likes to pick in the first round? Who wants first round talent and contract availability and all these other things when we could pick out of the second round? So let's just trade with the Titans, another team we're gonna have to play regularly, in order to go back to the second round. And now we have 2 third-round picks and 3 fourth-round picks and 3 fifth-round picks. Oh boy. Oh good. A second-round pick and several third-round picks and a bunch of shit. Just a bunch of bullshit. Do you understand? Do you understand that these are all lottery tickets?
Yeah.
And some of them have weighted odds. And the idea that you're going to fix the entire team with late third and mid and late round fourth and fifth round picks is insane. The idea that you're going to trade first round value so you can just stack picks in the fourth and fifth round is out of... What are we even fucking talking about? Like, in what world, by what reality is this a plan? I'm not saying any of the players we got are bad. I don't know if any of the players we got are bad. We fixed a lot of spots that we needed to fix. We got a lot of defensive help. We got a few wide receivers. We got help. But here's the thing. One, Brandon Beane is a terrible judge of talent.
He's fucking terrible.
He's a terrible judge of talent. The only reason he's still here is because Josh Allen worked out, which was not a guarantee.
No, especially early on.
We got a lot of shit for picking him in the top 10. And honestly, deserved given the first 2 years of his career. So, like, that was a miracle that worked out. And now you're just continuing to take these middling talents, either avoiding taking strong talent that you know you have, and now you're deferring to taking these middle talents because that's worked for you in the past, but that's worked for you in the past because the coaches were able to coach them up to a point. I don't know what Joe Brady's going to do. I don't know how Joe Brady's going to handle the defense. I don't know how Joe Brady's going to handle anything. We cannot count on us just coaching them up. So the idea that you would, again, by the end of everything, the Bills made several more trades and ended up with 2 2-round picks, I think 1 3rd-round pick.
No, 2 2s, 2 4s, 3 5s, and 3 7s.
Yeah. So that's not good.
No.
That's fucking sucks.
Well, and I'm looking at the Sports Illustrated grading of the drafts.
Yeah.
For the AFC East, the Bills were a D+. And I did notice this. Dolphins a B-, Patriots a B, and the Jets an A.
Yeah.
And as the draft was going, I'm like, man, these other teams are getting a lot better.
Yeah.
Buffalo ain't doing shit.
No, Buffalo doesn't know how to take
They
picks.
have no idea how to
They don't know how to pick players. They don't know how to judge talent. They do this thing where they think they're really smart, and they basically neg, like a teenage frat boy meeting a girl for the first time. They neg these players that they like, and they're like, oh, I thought that guy would be faster. And it's because they want no one else to take that guy. And so they make it sound like this guy's a loose cannon or not a great option or a possible bust. And then they take that guy, and everybody knows this is what they do because they've been doing it for years. This is Brandon Beane's bread and butter. This is what he does. And he's so shit at this. When I logged on and I saw that I was waiting for our pick, traded to the Texans. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, that's not even, like, trading to the Titans is a pain in my ass because of personal reasons, right? I hate the Titans.
Yes.
For a variety of reasons, but mostly the Music City Miracle.
Yeah.
The Texans are an actual problem. That's not just me being like, I hate this team, blah, blah, blah. That's an actual problem. That if we played them straight up, I don't know if we win that game.
Exactly. And they're a legitimate first-round playoff team you're going to see.
You cannot give them ammunition. You're giving ammunition to the Patriots. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why would you help the Patriots in any way? And it just reminds me of all those times that Washington has traded with Philadelphia.
Yes.
Or where Minnesota has traded with Green Bay. And it always works out well for the one team and super poorly for the other team.
Yeah.
And I just think we're going to be the other team in this scenario where it's like, could TJ Parker be good? Yeah, he could be great. You know, he could be the next Micah Parsons. He could be the next Lawrence Taylor. He could be the next Fred Biletnikoff. I don't fucking know, man. Fred Biletnikoff was a wide receiver.
Yeah.
You gotta pick people in the first round, okay? And here's a brand new crazy idea. How about this? All right. What if instead of leaving the draft with 7 players, we leave the draft with 4 really good players.
Yeah.
And we start packaging some of these picks together with some of the offsets from our crew of guys that we don't need anymore, and we start packaging those together for some higher level picks. Because I gotta tell you, this ain't working.
No.
If it was working, we would have won the Super Bowl by now. But you know who went to the Super Bowl last year? Not us. The Patriots did. So please stop fucking around.
And I puke in my mouth saying this. A team that did exactly what you said the Bills should do. Kansas City fucking Chiefs. 2 firsts and a second, and they got 3 defensive studs.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the last thing you need.
When I get to the end of the draft and I realize my hope is for the Bills to go 4-13 and have a top 10 pick in the draft and the ability to fire Joe Brady, one and done, and Brandon Beane, and just start fresh with Josh Allen in his 8th year next year, and we can have a top 10 pick to get somebody on the defensive side that can be a real difference maker. Maybe that's the way we go, but this is just horseshit, hamster wheel bullshit.
Terrible.
It's just the same shit every year, and it works the exact same way every year, and it's always a mistake every year. The number of players that you get out of the 4th and 5th and 6th and 7th round who are any decent, any good, there's one every 3 years. It's a miracle. It's an absolute fucking miracle when these guys work out. There are 32 players per round, and you're talking about 1 player out of 5 rounds of the draft make it at that point. And you're trading away our entire draft to try and take more tickets from that section of the picks. This makes no sense to me. And some people are now saying it worked out. We got what we needed. The guys are good. It's going to be exactly what you wanted. The talent is there. I don't fucking care. We took a fucking punter. We took a fucking punter.
I still can't believe that.
How do you take a fucking punter? What the fuck are you? Like, what is this shit, man? Why are we doing this? Why do we do this to ourselves every year? Just fire Brandon Beane. He doesn't know what to do. He can't run a team. And if he could, we would be so much further. The fact that we have gotten as far as we are is in despite of his efforts.
Yeah.
Not because of them. Anyway. Football sucks.
How do you really feel it?
I don't know if I like football anymore.
Yeah, no.